Welcome back, everyone, for the second match of the night. And we're gonna see a familiar team coming back. It's gonna be France versus Switzerland this time. So France just coming out of their match against Japan, winning 4-3 before the decision for the protest. But France versus Switzerland is underway in race one. It's going to be Julie Fra, Black Panther, against Legern and Yuzu in this first round of the 2v2 mixed race. Ilka. Alberto, what can we say?
And this one will be tough for the French because they just finished 7 races. They are pushing a lot to have all the race done as soon as possible. So at the moment, I believe it will be kind of stressful for the French, but nothing they can do not overcome. At the moment, I believe Yuzu is the strongest female player we saw last year, so definitely that is a nice touch for the Swiss, but at the moment she's like struggling on the mark. Penalty. She probably missed the start. Yuzu missed the start. She didn't see it yet, and when she will see it, it will be too late. Yeah. At the moment, the victory seems pretty done for the French, but never say never because we saw a lot of comebacks tonight.
Yeah, we did see a lot of comebacks. We also saw a huge comeback from the Japanese in one of those races just before. So with Legern, the Swiss captain, vice captain, close into the French, he can try to do some damage. If he can just focus on one of the French players and make sure that they end up behind Yuzu, it's going to be a win for Swiss, or for the Swiss. Because, well, in a 2v2, if you have last place, basically, you're going to lose the encounter, or the match. But Black Panther is in the lead, followed by Julie Fra. Yuzu is still a bit behind. The Star is a pretty slow boat in the upwind, but has a big wind shadow, so everything can still happen in the downwind.
Yep, and let's see if Yuzu actually can make a huge comeback. She's already reduced by 20 meters the first distance, so I believe she's not really that far. Legern,
Yeah,
to be honest, though, here... sorry?
That was just agreeing with you. Please continue.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying like Legern is going... At the moment, Legern is really close to Julie Fra, so I will see there is a potential for a huge comeback from Yuzu if Legern played right.
He's gonna have to play it right if they want to have a chance. He's still very close to Julie Fra, so still in wind shadow distance, and he's gonna have to focus on one of the players. Black Panther is more of a novice, let's say, to team race on the French squad than Julie Fra, but Julie Fra is closer to Legern, so he's gonna go on to focusing on Julie Fra. And Yuzu is just 60 meters away, so she can definitely still get back in the match. Because well, actually the size of the wind shadow for the Star is roughly around 60 meters, so we'll see how they fare.
Yeah.
Black Panther, meanwhile, still going straight towards the mark, not slowing down whatsoever. But she's probably keeping an eye on her teammate Julie Fra to see what's going to happen there. Because if Julie Fra is penalized and ends up in 4th position, she's going to have to do something to allow the French to come back into the game and get away from that last position. But so far, Julie Fra and Legrand are still dancing around. No penalties on either boats. Legrand trying to overtake, put a penalty, slow Julie Fra down, and Julie Fra so far managing to escape these attempts, though he is going to be surrounded by the two Swiss.
And at the moment, you can see Yuzu already ahead from Julie Fra.
Yep. So she was not far behind, and Julie Fra is going to have a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
Black Panther, meanwhile, has rounded the mark and is starting the reaching leg.
I believe she's confident that Julie Fra can give like a penalty to Lagan, but at the moment they should both jibe and go for the mark, because Lagan at the moment could be in control of Julie Fra, like going down a little bit and go straight. And Lagan here is getting the lead over Julie Fra. This is difficult because if actually the Swiss manage to break the overlap, it's going to be tougher for the French. At the moment, the both are not overlapped, so if they reach the mark like this, Legrand had the right of way, but now it's going down again and laughing up again. It's difficult
see
for...
the Black Panther has come back, so she's waiting for her teammate. She just wanted to do that on the reaching leg. Yuzu is waiting for Julie Fra as well, and Julie Fra is going to try to avoid both these boats, but cannot, and is going to take the penalty from Yuzu.
Yuzu did not want to risk to give a penalty to his teammate. At the moment, though, seems pretty interesting because France have a slight advantage at the moment. Legrand needed to be really smart to do not enter to the mark, but do not also losing that position, and Yuzu need to get the lead if she wants to help on the downwind leg. Penalty to Julie Fra.
Penalty to
Let's
Julie
see
Fra.
if
Yuzu has rounded the mark. Black Panther is waiting for Legrand in the mark zone, and is going to try to
similar
penalize.
mistake from before from Black Panther, going starting too early, and now Yuzu should be giving help to Lagan, because at the moment he is alone. Do not understand why she is not helping, and at the moment, from a really strong position for the Swiss, it's a really awful position for them, because a penalty over there would change everything.
They're likely going to try to put that pressure on the French, since they currently have the 1 and 2 position. They might think, well, this is enough for the win. But finishing first in a team race doesn't necessarily equal the win. As we just saw here, there's been a swap in the positions between Black Panther and Legrand. Black Panther taking second place, and Julie Fra coming on starboard from Legrand don't think he's, oh, maybe. He might be able to reach Legrand and force him to tack. Tries to
penalty for
penalize
Julie
him, but
Fra
takes penalty for both French players. The Swiss is going to be able to sail without any more worries. And even if Black Panther can take the second place from Legrand, it's going to be a win for the Swiss with a 1 and 2 or a 1 and 3. And looks like it's a repeat of the previous match, right?
Yeah, absolutely amazing start from the Swiss. The French give that away with the Black Panther on the last mark like before, but at the moment there was also a mistake from Yuzu to not help them help their teammates. So not a really easy one for them.
Well, first
what do you think?
First point goes to Switzerland. And we're going to head over to race number 2, and we'll see how the Swiss can, if they can confirm this winning and make that a winning streak. Race number 2 is a go. We're going to switch over to the race course. But currently, after race 1, it's 1-0 for the Swiss. And I don't know if that's an advantage or if that's putting them in a difficult position, Alberto. The fact that the French just had their this previous match against Japan. Do you think that was a good warm up for them to be into a team racing mode, or do you think that could have maybe hindered their well, the way they focus on the race and they can concentrate on doing the good thing and are likely getting tired now and are going to make some small mistakes? What do you think?
I believe we have a lot of, they lost a lot of energy, like mental energy in the race against a really, really strong Japan. So I believe the French at the moment could be tired after 7 races, especially like the top sailor, because probably the top sailor are also doing something like captain and like tactics and stuff. So as you can see, a really, really strange start from Azir, that he hit the stern of the Pepino. At the moment, we have a flying Palomino and Alex K on the left-hand side, but our massive right-wing shift is coming. Friendly fire for the Swiss. Why they are going to the left with that right-wing shift coming?
So no friendly fire. They managed to avoid that last second, but that was very close indeed. Flying Palomino and a penalty from Kulzev. Nice, looking a bit better for the French at the moment. But Ilka is going to be sailed. Well, a lot of the Ilka race is going to be decided on the downwind as well. It's faster, well, more maneuverable than the Star, but still has a very efficient wind shadow if you can get close to your opponents and put them in it. It has a smaller wind shadow, but still very effective. Flying Palomino, the only Swiss in on the podium so far. It's going to be on his shoulders to try to slow down the French when they get to the mark if he can cling on to his second position.
To be honest, it's really tough, this one, because at the moment, Flying Palomino is the only one there. And to be honest, the wind is a little bit crazy today. We have a left wind shift coming, then a right wind shift coming again. So Flying Palomino probably could hold the second position, but Klug Savnice is doing everything he can to slow him down and to make sure that Alex and Azir could have a nice comeback.
Yep, and well, to be fair, Azir maybe likes and prefers to be at the back for some of these races. We've seen him several times just having fun at the back, penalizing all the boats. We've seen him do that on Kazuki and Yuko and against the Japanese in the previous race. He likes to be put in the mix, and it is Flying Palomino who's taking the penalty from Kulzev Nice, surrounded by pink boats. And taking a second penalty, this time from Alex KRS, allowing his teammate Acer to pass in front. And suddenly we have a completely pink podium.
Yeah, and third penalty.
Third penalty, very well played by Alex K over here. He's going to continue to try to penalize them at this mark rounding. He's going to have to choose one of the players to put the penalty on. He's going for Flying Palomino again. But the French, well, the two pink boats ahead, Kulzev Nice and Acer, are far ahead, and unless something crazy happens, 1 and 2 is a winning combo in a 3v3.
Yeah. I don't believe that there is massive difference right now, that something can happen. We already told this, and if you remember, Kazuki won the other race.
Exactly, yeah. So it's never over until it's over.
Yeah, but in the front we have Azir at the moment. Last time we had the
There's Black
newest
Panther
player in the French
and
team.
Tukril.
Yeah.
And Biga 3333 Allez la France, supporting the French. Don't know if you were here for the previous match, Biga, but they already won against Japan. This is their second match tonight against the Swiss. Maybe
And
getting
is
tired
their
or
last
maybe
match.
getting it's also their. Is it their last match for the round robin?
Yeah, it's their last match. So we see if they can reach 20 points, because in the moment they're reaching 20 points, the game is on.
And I want to thank Jersey TW and Tranquilloman. Thank you for the follow. Nice to see you. And Nono0753, go France. A lot of French supporters in the chat.
Yeah.
Show some love to the Swiss as well. Where are the Swiss supporters in there?
So Japan is missing only the match with Sweden, and then France will be doing the last match tonight. Japan is at 17 points. France is at 16, and Italy is at 12, but is missing 2 matches against Switzerland and Germany. And then there is Poland that have only 1 match left. That is the match against Sweden, another super interesting race that we need to see.
Yep. So we're running out of races, but we're more or less going to have one match every evening of this week, with 2 matches on Sunday to conclude the round robin stage. But this is going to be the last time we see the French team in the round robin stage. Maradoni, interesting pen start for Swiss, came out pen just before the gun, talked on report behind pen start. I think this was Sinkers I saw. Let me explain a bit the pen start you saw at the beginning on one of the Swiss players. So the pen start is decided, and we see Alex Hay putting a penalty here on a flank by Lumino. Pen start is decided by if a boat takes a penalty between T-14 and T-3 seconds before the start. While in penalty, takes a second penalty and crosses the start line on port, is considered a pen start by the rule engine. So it adds an extra 10 seconds after the initial penalty has finished. Which is what happened with, I forgot who it was on the Swiss team, but to that player.
Yeah.
Il s'agit de Laser, it's Laser Boat. Tranquilloman, it is indeed the Laser, now called the Ilka.
Yeah, because Laser is the brand, and actually Ilka is the boat.
Well, Ilka actually stands for International Laser Class Association, no?
Yeah. But the major difference was before were made only by one company.
Right.
And now multiple companies can have access to that.
Well, race number 2 goes this time to the French, 1, 2, and 5 in this race. For the French, 3, 4, 6 for the Swiss, making it 1-all.
Yeah. So this is a different start from the French that do not need to. They do not can have the possibility. Do not have to lose another race, and that's the most problematic things for the French at the moment. A narrow win for the French can result only in 3 points. And that one, it could be painful, because they will do like 6 points tonight, going to 19. Definitely give a big advantage to Japan, that at the moment is at 16 points.
Do you maybe want to explain how these points work, the narrow win and narrow loss and all of that? To those just joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for the reminder. So we decided that if 2 teams are fighting against each other, and the results is 7-0 or 6-1, it's a decisive win because you have more than 5 win of difference between the two teams. That one will decide that you are getting 4 points for winning and 1 point for losing. If instead you are going to have a 4-3 or 5-2, it will be called as a narrow win, where if you win only 3 points, and if you lose, you win 2 points. So at the moment, France is at 16 points because he did a narrow win against Japan. Japan is at 16 points because he did a narrow loss against France. And so at the moment they're tied up in the lead, and with both one match until the race. The last race for Japan will be Japan against Sweden. Definitely a tough match for Japan, and here France need to make sure that if he wants to be in the lead alone, he needs to win with a decisive win.
Yep. Well, as the start is giving 40 seconds, a bit more before they can cross the start line. Gattomio, when is Italy playing next? They're playing on Friday against Germany and on Sunday against Switzerland. Friday at 21:30 CET, so 8:30 p.m. UTC. And on Sunday it's going to be at 8 p.m. UTC. Tranquilo, man. Thanks for the information about the lasers. Unfortunately, I haven't sailed for 10 years. Why is that, man? Why aren't you sailing anymore? And 3 seconds to go.
Friendly fire for Celestial Storm and a penalty from Alex K. Amazing start for the French, and let's see if Ying Yang can get the left wing shift and get to the head of the race.
Let's talk also a bit about the players that we see on each team, starting with maybe the Swiss this time. Yin Yang, Pepino, Celestial Storm, and Quebec 24 for the Swiss. Alex K, RS, Mournier, Trap, Brest Power, and Alcalea for the French. Well, some recognizable names on both teams that we've seen throughout the Nations Cup so far. So they know what they're doing. With the J70, we have a boat with the SPI this time, so there's a choice to be made on the reaching leg, whether to put it out or not, and that's going to be dependent on the wind direction at the time. Might be more favorable to take out the SPI, maybe not. You might want to purposely slow down to penalize the opponents behind you. A lot of decisions to be made on that reaching leg. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the French, according to the ranking on the left.
Yeah, let's see what Ying Yang can do here, because he's definitely really close to Mournier, and he's definitely ahead of Trapper's Power, definitely ahead of Alcalea. At the moment, I say is only 1-2 for the French, and let's see what Ying Yang, if he can surprise us and wreak havoc on the French team here.
That was one of the maybe the biggest how'd you say, not advantages, but the opposites. The biggest flaw, I guess, is the word in the Swiss team, is that they sometimes sail a bit too passively and are not aggressive enough and putting the penalties to try to slow down the opponents. They're just focusing on racing fast, and sometimes that backfires. As Yin Yang takes the penalty here from Brest Power, from Mournier, sorry. But is still in front of 2 French boat. And if they lost the 1 and 2, it doesn't really matter as long as they can push the 2 remaining French into 7 and 8 to get that losing combo. And he's going to try to do a mark trap here at the mark, or slow down at least the French. It's going to be a penalty here for Alcalea, well played by Yin Yang. And is then going to maybe try to go focus on Brest Power and decides to jibe away. But with that maneuver, that allowed Pepino to come in the mix.
Yeah. Even if Quebec 24 is a bit far behind, I believe the Swiss still have some chance because third power is there, is not really far. And if actually can manage to have a small comeback, if Yin Yang is a little bit more aggressive, luff up, try to slow him down, make sure that Quebec is coming back while Filipino and Celestial Storm could give some trouble to Alcarea, and that is a good things to say.
Yeah, well, he's definitely keeping Breast Power busy, and they do also have Alcalea in range for some attacks. So they need to focus on these two players to put more chances on their side. Meanwhile, Yin Yang and Breast Power still sailing side to side. No penalties given from either boat to the other. And that's maybe about to change as Yin Yang is going to change course, sail above Breast Power, and going to try to put a penalty on him. Breast Power is going to do his best to defend and reverse that. Close call between the two, but no penalties given yet. And let's focus back
Breast
on
Power on a puff, actually. You see going 11 knots. Both, but Quebec is actually going super fast at 12 knots. Let's see if we could cover a little bit transfer power and allow Yin Yang to be a little bit safer. Let's see, and we need to make sure that Pepino is at least in front of Alcalia, because if not, it's game over for the Swiss for this bridge. Amazing job on breast power by Yin Yang. Pepino is keeping the third position. French feel confident at the moment. I will not be that much, but you know.
Well, they have
One and
Alex
two
K.
are
Mornier
flying
in 1
away.
and 2. They also have Alcalea in 4th, but Breast Power is in a difficult position, but they must think that
No
Alcalea
big
ending
mistake
up
by
in
Pepino.
Pepino giving the 3rd place to Alcalea, but manages to put the penalty on him. He's going to slow down that boat. Reels the speed back in, but is going to leave Alcalea sail onto port alone. And between Breast Power and Quebec 24, Breast Power still has 7th position. We are seeing a dial down by Pepino on Alcalea, another penalty on Alcalea. They're going to have to keep doing that on the two French at the back, Alcalea and Breast Power, if they want to win this round.
But Yin Yang be more aggressive. He needed to cover Alcarea and Breast Power. Same with Pepino needed to be in front of him. And they hear in the live from us.
And I think he heard you because he just does that, dials down just a slightly to cover Breast Power, slow him down a bit, allow Quebec 24 to maybe get into that 7th position, and they're going to want to penalize Alcalea. They're going to be a dial down, no dial down, hacking over Alcalea and leaving Breast Power to Pepino.
Yin Yang should be closing the gap with Alcalea there, and Celestial Storm awful tuck in front of his teammate and not against on the opponent. At the moment,
try
is looking
to change that. It could still be possible for the Swiss. We see Alex K and Morny at the front slowing down, not sure what to do yet. Is there going to be a dial down? Should they continue to finish? But I gotta say, this is one of like a very good move, like good moves from the Swiss in general in Yin Yang. It's the first time we see them actually defending, attacking more, and this is great to see because they can definitely still maybe win. Watch out for the penalty from Alcalea coming in onto starboard. Penalty here on Pepino as he was trying to avoid Alcalea. That was a nice move by the French. Alex K and Moulnier are going to cross the finish line. It's going to be a 1 and 2 for them. Yin Yang trying to dial down on Alcalea but misses him, and I think this is going to be a French win indeed.
Yeah.
Nice
7
try
and
from the
8
Swiss.
for the.
Unfortunately for them, they did not manage to do what they were hoping for. But a nice round and a nice battle indeed.
Yeah. Hi, Lorenzo. Even if you are saying hello to Oscar, not to me. Yeah, fine.
Hi, Lorenzo. Nice to see you there. And that's going to make it 2-1 for the French.
Yeah, this one was tight. I believe the Swiss could have done slightly more. They should have been more aggressive. They needed to learn better how to manage the boat and how the cover works, because definitely they were in an amazing combo for the final part of the race, and they do not. They could have concluded it in a better way, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think they could have been a bit more aggressive, and that's usually what we repeat in the streams, well, for the Swiss at least. But I am seeing some progress, and I am seeing some moves and some thought process that are there and that are in the good direction.
Yeah, definitely.
So they just need to keep at it and keep going.
If you want to beat the runner-up from last year, you need to do a lot.
Yes,
France last year was impressive. It was an amazing final, but to compete against France is always the toughest match, and Japan just understood that.
Well, we're gonna go into the 5v5 offshore racer in just 30 seconds. Question from Maradani eSailing: does first in round robin get a bye to the semis? I believe that is correct. With the seeding from the round robin, first should have gone until 8th team. Since there's only 7 teams, they're going to get a bye, and 7 goes to second goes to 7th, third to 6th, and so on. So a winner gets a bye.
And 4th to 5th. You're missing only 4th to 5th.
But it is time to start the next race. All 10 players in. Race number 4 is a go. Currently 2-1 for the French. What is going to be the Swiss answer?
So at the moment, the French do not put down their best team with Azir and both Azir and Alec on the bench for this match. Even Pepito not racing here.
Yeah, Pepito is not going to race at all against the Swiss.
Yeah.
Well, Hitak 35 and Jabai Jose, thank you for the follow. Nice to see you in here. And
massive left wing shift starting, but I believe is still the best option is to start the nearby race committee, get the right hand side of the racing area. The first mark is really close. Give as much penalty as you can before the start of the race, and then finish in grandeur. 8 seconds to start. But actually locking a strap breast power on the mark.
And we see a couple of penalties here, one on Chesser and the other on Alcalea. A good start for Mournier, ahead of the fleet right now.
Yeah.
Same from
but even Kulu over there is not that far.
And well, I mean, that's usually the case with the offshore racer. We don't have like we had with before, like a pair of boats or some boats just flying away. Usually the fleets stay condensed.
I believe is 1 point lead for France at the moment, but anything can happen. We will see a lot of penalty at the first mark here. Yeah, penalty also for full hydrosail. Penalty, no, for Kulu missed. James Luca goes long, try to give them a penalty, but with no luck. Another penalty for full hydrosail. James Luca is keeping the boat upwind. Cheeser is Cheeser. Come on, is Cheeser? Yeah. Get a penalty from a jibing James Luca. James Luca find the right solution for this leg. Kulu Quebec get a penalty. At the moment, do not look really nice for the Swiss, but is not definitely a win for the French. 10, 21, 23.
You want to have 27 points or less.
Yeah.
In a 5v5. If you have 27, you win, but if you have 28, you lose.
Yeah, so now it's like 20. It's 24, 25 for the French, so definitely is jumping up and down a lot. So,
If you're
but
wondering
definitely
how
is.
if we're wondering how we math, it's just the regular fleet rate. Well, sailing scoring is your position equals the number of points you get. First 1 point, second
Yep.
2 points, third 3 points, and well, the team score is just the addition of every member of the team. So, for the French in this case, 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 9.
23-32 at the moment for the French. So like only few points they divide French from Swiss. Let's see how the Swiss can be aggressive. I see Cheeser already starting, but in a not in a good way.
You say Cheeser?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
I don't know. I say Chesser, but I might be wrong.
Celestial Storm
Chester.
need to keep at least one position over there. Need to give a penalty because 1, 2, 3 is definitely something that is going to be painful.
Yeah, well, he is pushing full hydrocell away, but full hydrocell managed to put the penalty on Celestial Storm and is going to try to, well, get away from him as Gensrubik is trying to do a mark trap shot with Cheeser Chesser taking the penalty, taking a 31, so touching the mark. And well, good for him. He wasn't penalty because that means he couldn't penalize Kulu 8, his teammate.
Yeah, definitely is Chester. Celestial Storm is the last hope. He have to give right now a penalty to full hydrosail if we want to reopen the game.
And well, Chester putting a penalty on Alcalea. And at the front, full hydro Celestial Storm still chasing full hydrocell to try and attack away, but full hydrocell attacking over him, just mimicking the same moves. And a penalty at the back on Alcalea from Chesser, doing his work on the French. Full hydrocell try to do maybe a dial down over here, but missed it. Took a penalty, so Celestial Storm is going to cross the finish line third, followed by Gyansuruk. And it's going to be
another amazing win by the French.
Yep. Definitely looks like a win for the French. But we'll have the confirmation with the score in just a minute once all players have crossed the finish line. There we have score confirmation. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 for the French. And 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the Swiss.
To be honest, amazing start from the French. Again, they tried to do a comeback. They managed to keep the race really, really interesting, and so kudos to the Swiss. But in the end, the French skill, I believe, they predominate. What do you think?
I agree with that statement completely. Yeah, well, I was gonna say if they are cocky, they might want to not end up first so that they can race another match and get some more training in.
Yeah.
Or play it safe and make sure that they end up first. But I think with this French squad, they want to prove that they are the best and are going to try to win every single match that they can get their hands on. Fortunately, they already have a decisive loss against Italy, their first match. Which, well, it's like putting salt on the wound, I guess. But 7-0 against them definitely hurt. And Donny not seeing anything else than a 6-1 for the French. I'm assuming.
To be honest, yeah, I disagree because I've seen the roster. Last two races will be Azir, so yeah, that one is going to be painful. But Black Panther, Jinsu, Azir in the 3v3J, even the 9v9 here, if you have a good start for the Swiss, like they're doing now, if they do not give the penalty to each other. Look, we have like 2 or 3 Swiss over there.
We have Morny and Quebec in penalty. Where is over there? But alike against the Japanese, we have 6 French in the top 9 currently at the start.
Yep.
And
the problem is there is wind on the right at the moment. So Black Panther is going 11 knots, but Yin Yang is going 11.7. So, they're going much faster on the right-hand side, and the right wing shift is coming. And most of the sail, or most of the white sail, are actually on the right, rather than all the pink one are on the left. So, it's not finished yet, to be honest. Actually, this one will be really challenging, even if like Celestial Storm, Kulu, Quebec are all in the lowest part of the
That's usually what happens with the 49er. We saw that in the previous match today, France versus Japan, where I think it was Japan who had the lead during the first upwind, but then we started the downwind and suddenly it was completely reversed.
Yep.
With the 49er going very fast, it can change in seconds, literally.
Look, there is like 4 boats on the right ley line for Switzerland and 2 boats only for France. I do not understand what Xing Yang is doing here, because he's actually packing everybody for Cooks of Nice to cover. That's a risky maneuver. He needs to say hi. He tacked too late. He needs to tack earlier next time. But yeah, France will have 1, 2, 3. Flying Palomino is actually reaching the mark in 4th position. Penalty for breast power. But penalty also for Cooks of Nice.
We are on a different course this time, which is why you see the boats leaving the mark on port and not on starboard like the first 4 races. We're back onto the classic upwind downwind race course that we're used to on Virtual Gala inshore, which makes this race actually closer to fleet racing, which is why we're saying it. But that doesn't mean that it isn't a team race. So when you have the opportunity, take it, penalize your opponents, help your teammates. And by doing that enough times, this is how you will gain some places.
I believe there is a lot of bad communication during this races here. Flying Palomino, penalizing a chaser. you shouldn't penalize your teammate, and that's why a lot of the points are actually given to the French. You see, before the difference between French and Switzerland was almost untraceable. At the moment, it's a massive win, France.
Yeah, as they're rounding the mark, and we're seeing quite a was that friendly fire between the boats here.
Yeah.
No, it was one French, one Swiss. Well, Hydrocell also in penalty, and Quebec 24 as well.
But you see, for example, Flame, Palomino, and Kulu do not communicate here. Lagern tried to do what he could, but he is really struggling at the moment.
I don't know how each team organize themselves, but we do see. So obviously we're admins on Discord servers, so we see all the channels and we create the channels for every team. And well, we do see most of the bigger teams always being in that same voice channel, and we're just gonna assume communicating between them, and they likely have like a race manager who's racing, who's like calling the calls and everything, and I think that's the communication is really important. And if one team is not doing it, then they should really think of doing it, because I think this is how you win, and this is how you organize strategies and plays, and make it easier for
And
the team.
I can see the Swiss team.
Yep.
Half of the team do not have the mic on. That's a concerning things for me looking at, because if half of the team do not have the mic on, it's impossible to communicate. And the 9v9 is the communication race. It's not a madness race. Is the master class of communication. If you have someone speaking when they shouldn't, you're losing the race. When you have someone not speaking when you shouldn't, you're losing the race. At the moment, seeing that showed me that the Swiss team are not communicating in the right way, and this is the explanation of what we're seeing right now.
Yeah,
To be honest, Switzerland also have a major issue. That is, all the country do not speak a single language. So even finding the right language to speak is
there's also this to take
difficult part.
into account. There's 3 languages I believe in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So there could be some languages barriers. And Scheidler is saying, give the Swiss one more star match. We're not going to see the star again tonight, but we are going to see the Ilka, which is probably the closest one we have to the star. And it's going to be well, between the
No,
Swiss
it's a 3v3. Is a 3v3 J70 and 4v4 F50.
Oh yeah, no more Ilka.
No
But
more
forget
Ilka
what.
too.
Yeah, forget what I said. Yeah, we're not going to get any boats that are close to the star anymore. We are going to have a mixed race again with the J70, and then it's going to be another very fast race with the F50. And we'll see how they fare there. But as the race is over, we're going to have a look at the score, but it does look like a French win for the race number 5. And we're going to go into the J70 mixed.
Yeah. France is doing an amazing roster here, because it kept us here until the last 2 races. And that one is tricky, because having the last 2 races over there, it's if he's not tired, it will be an amazing point having the current world championship in the roster. On the other hand,
we know that Asir loves the F50. Always doing some crazy maneuvers in these races, so it's gonna be tough. Sorry, I cut you off. You were saying?
do you think will be an Azir show this race?
I think when Asir plays, it's always an Asir show.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's just that kind of player.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that it's not gonna be as. I think he really shines in the F50. I think in the F50 you really see the difference. In the J70 a bit less because it's a very balanced boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna see how he plays and how the Swiss take him on. Well, him and
So
the rest
penalty
of the
Black
French.
Panther that have some trouble to start at the moment. I believe the Swiss need to push them because it's only 17 seconds to the start of the race. And if they do it properly, they can block Azir from starting. 6 seconds to the start, Swiss not in a great start.
I think no one had a great start, to be fair. It's a very late start from everyone. Did Luc? Yeah, he did cross the start line correctly. Black Panther touching the committee boat, so having a 31 penalty. And I think Kudu 8 had the same as well. Very weird start for both teams here.
Really weird start. What do you think it can be the cause? It can be the wind intensity that is really low and probably messed
I
up the
think
timing.
this and maybe some sort of a strategy that didn't work the way they planned. Like maybe they were thinking that the opponent was going to do a certain move, so they pre-shotted it and were waiting for the move, but it never came, or something like that. But at the moment, Asir in first place, Yin Yang and Gansubik fighting for second place. In a 3v3, 1 and 2, where 1 and 3 is going to win, you want to have 10 points or less to win the round. And we see the first dial down from Gansubik onto the Swiss Yuzu.
And now it's only in the hand of Yin Yang to make sure.
Yin Yang, who defended pretty well and did what he could during that previous race. I forgot which one it was. Let me check on the roster in which races he played. I think it was the 4v4 J70.
Azir is already in the back of the race, but Yuzu is really, really close.
And Gansubik taking the mark pretty wide, leaving plenty of space for Black Panther to come in. Asir taking the penalty from Yuzu.
Yeah, but Yuzu is late to hoist the kite.
And Yuzu putting a second penalty on Asir, but has almost come to a full stop going upwind with the SPI out. And Asir managing to get away from that penalty, and currently 1-2-3 for the French. Asir doing some maneuvers at the mark, trying to penalize the Swiss. He's going to push Kudu 8 as far as he can, penalize Yuzu as he jibes onto starboard. And Yin Yang is doing the right choice, trying to catch one of the French in on the podium, because they need to get one of them out of the top 3 if they want to have a chance to win. Well, so far boats are too far from each other to have any meaningful dancing or penalizing at the moment, but it's gonna come very soon as the boats are still slowing each other down. Everyone in someone else's wind shadow. And we do see Yin Yang trying to avoid Acer slowing him down.
Yeah, as they're doing a proper job, Yuzu went to try to do something different, but she separated herself too much from the racing, and that one puts the Swiss in a really tough position.
Kulu 8 inching closer to Acer. We are likely going to see a penalty on someone soon.
Yeah, but Kuru 8 at the moment is covering Yin Yang, and
Yeah,
he gets the position, but it's actually worse that he gets the position.
he did manage to penalize Acer, and Yin Yang still has to speed force, try to catch up one of the two French in front, either Black Panther or Gansuluc.
Massive right wing shift. Let's see if Black Panther is like going straight or attacking because she's covered. Amazing move from Jinsuluk. And maybe a split could help the Swiss.
Kulu 8 rounding the mark, staying on port, Acer deciding to go on starboard and then tacking onto port after that to avoid being in the wind shadow and putting Yuzu in his wind shadow.
Yeah.
Yin Yang decided to go completely on the left of the course over there.
This is actually a bad move from Kulu because they need to catch the third.
Well, it was a nice dial down, nevertheless, dial down onto Acer, penalizing him, but as he said, the focus would be to try to catch one of the French at the beginning, but it is nice to see a dial down from the Swiss.
Yeah, to be honest, yes.
It looks like we will have some quiet sailing for a couple of moments there.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuzu is a really, really far over ley line. And definitely will be 1-2. I was safe. 1-5.
1-2 confirmed for the French. The Swiss are going to take 3 and 4 spot, but then it looks like Acer is in front of Yuzu. But behind Clue 8, so I think you were right. It's going to be 1-2-5 for the French. Making it 5-1 in total.
Yep.
And there we have confirmation of the
And
score.
the last one is coming. So, Maradoni is on the verge to be right. He says only 6-1. Let's see if I believe he is right. He is going to win this bet, and I'm not jinx it in any way.
So the last race of the night is a go.
Yeah. To be honest, the French here have the best team. Azir is the world champion. Full hydrosail is TP52 sailors. Nice and Julie Fra have a lot of experience. One of the first e-sailor here in France. They have amazing capabilities. So On the other side, we have Yuzu, that is the best female sailor from 2023, and Lagern, Flying Palomino, and Chesser. I believe Lagern is the Swiss champion for 2 years in a row.
I think you're right,
Um,
yes.
but fleet race, not match race.
Exactly, and all of that is going to change because, as we repeated throughout the night, finishing first isn't necessarily a win for your team. 10
Yeah.
seconds to go. Boats are picking up the speed heading towards the start line. Do not hit it too soon. Avoid penalties because slowing down with the F50 is going to cost you a lot. And we're going to say that it is a pretty clean start from the French. Pretty good start from Yuzu as well, but she is on starboard from the French, and Sarah faking an attack on her, but then deciding to place himself in front of Lagern. Full hydrosail touching the mark, taking a 31. But Yuzu's still on the podium, according to the ranking on the left.
Yeah, she's really, really fast. She's going 40 knots. She's actually going insanely fast, getting the third position. So not a bad start from the Swiss.
Managing to
And
put a
even if
penalty
he's
on Kulzevnais, but
yeah,
takes also a penalty by touching the mark and doing so. That's unfortunate, but that was a nice move from her to penalize one of the French that would slow him down and manage some of her teammates to catch up a bit. They're going to have to repeat that several times to keep climbing up that ranking as Chesser takes the penalty here from one of the pink boats.
yeah.
A fortunate penalty from Flying Palomino, on Flying Palomino from Acer. Same goes for Yuzu. With the pink boats coming from starboard, well, they had the right of way.
Yeah. I believe at the moment the 1, 2, 3, 4 was I'm not a jinxer anymore. I can be a new oracle here in the eSailing platform.
And that was a friendly fire again, as Yuzu is now out of bounds in the penalty. Flying Palomino on Kurgzevnais tails, tail, and well, it's gonna be hard.
I love your positivism here, but only a catastrophic event will change the result of this race. Even at the moment, like Lagern is going out with a different wind shift rather than Kulgzevnais. Even the wind is not helping the Swiss. Again, penalty for full hydrosail.
Touching the mark again. We'll talk about catastrophic events. These events could repeat.
Yeah, and Kulgzevnais is not that far.
And suddenly we have Lagern in the mix with the French boats. But in a 4v4, they want to push two French into 7 and 8 if they want to win. And the Rafael K 06, of course, French is the best. FRFR.
Yeah.
Well, tonight they were the best, winning against Japan 4-3, and then winning against the Swiss currently 5-1, but looking like a 6-1. And friendly fire
Against
here.
friendly fire here. To be honest, now amazing attack by Lagern. That is not that bad at the moment if the wind stays like that and he can manage to do the mark.
Well, let's
You know,
cross our fingers for a favorable win for him. Try to mix it up a bit, some dial down, but misses the French boat. As the two pink boat decide to go on to the right gates.
so Lager gets one position against full hydro sail.
Yeah,
Azir is doing
steer
something.
stop. Yeah, he came back towards the mark. He wants to have this 1, 2, 3, 4 for the French, so he's going to go focus on Lagern and decides actually it's going to be full hydrocell who does the maneuver. They really wanted that 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Lagern, full hydrocell slowing down a bit, penalizing him again. Watch out to not lose your 4th place. That is called karma.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he managed to keep his 4th place, but no, he goes into 6th.
Nice. 1, 2, 3, 6. And congratulations to France for the decisive win. And that brings him to 20 points. So if you want, we can go over the total results. France with 20 points, Japan with 16, but with 1 match to go. Italy 12 points, but with 2 matches to go. Poland with 12 points, but with only 1 match to go. Germany and Switzerland tied up at 7, but Germany need 2 matches, Switzerland 1. In last position, Sweden with 3 points, but only because he did only 6 points, but only because he did 3 races. So everything can happen, my friend.
Was that the updated standings when considering these 2 games?
Yeah.
Well, then we're
so
going
at the moment, France in the lead. France in the lead, but with 20 points, with 14 points on the difference win and loss. And the second position with Japan with 16, that with another decisive win can go in the lead. If Italy actually managed to do 2 decisive wins, so getting 2, if he's going 2-6-1, he could be second position. If he does 7-0, 24 points, he could be in the lead. So if Italy goes for 2-7-0 or 1-7-0, 1-6-1, no, 1-6-1 is 5. With the 1-6-1, they tied up with Japan, so Japan is going to be in the lead.
I'm going to repeat what you just said, but with the numbers in front of your eyes for those still watching. France currently in first, having played all their matches. Japan in second with 16 points, missing 1 game. Italy third with 12 points, missing 2 games. Poland tied with Italy in terms of points with 12 points as well, but missing just 1 game. Germany in fifth with 7 points, missing 2 games. Switzerland with 7 points, missing 2 games. Missing 1 game, sorry.
1.
And Sweden with 6 points, missing 2 games. 3 games.
Yeah. So tomorrow, Poland versus Sweden to see who is going to take the 3 or 4 points, probably 3 to be honest. And I'm really looking forward for that.
Yep. I guess we'll wrap it up just here. Poland versus Sweden tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. UTC. Come back on this Twitch channel to see that match. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be an exciting one. And well, thank you, Alberto, for joining us tonight, for being with me to commentate these 2 matches, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow for Poland versus Sweden. Good night.
Have a lovely night. Bye-bye.